This is Shine 309, presented by Fly Square Media. Today's guest is the owner of Bao Destination. She's also a real estate agent with Keller Williams Realty. She owns and operates Inspirio Threads. She's the event coordinator for the Young Entrepreneurs Market, and she is the co-owner of Kobe Revolving Sushi Bar and Beyond Social. It is my pleasure to introduce Vivian Kong Doctora. What's up, Viv?
Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for joining me today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Whew. So first of all, I'm just going to draw attention to the fact that I'm dressed up.
Yeah.
This is this is quite possibly the 10th episode. Don't exactly know the order they're going to go in, but this is the 10th one we've shot. And this is the first one I've done dressed up.
Nice. And I have your brand color. I'm in brand today.
Nice. I appreciate it. We got the blue and the white on. This is kind of mildly inspired by the Dallas Cowboys.
I see.
I'm from
Got
Fort Worth, Texas. But part of the reason I dressed up is I wanted to do one where I look nice, because I pull clips of these, and I wanted some clips with me looking formal, right? I wanted some formal attire.
Of course.
And then another reason is I was brutally attacked in my sleep by a spider.
Oh, no.
Something got me. I don't know how the cameras are picking it up, but if you notice my forehead, it got me on the neck and on the ear and on my arm. And so, yeah, I was like, I got to do something about these bug bites. They said, wear a hat. And I was like, I'm going to wear a suit.
Nice.
So I'm just being extra. I want to dive in and hear more about your new endeavor, the Kobe Revolving Sushi Bar.
Of course. So Kobe Revolving Sushi Bar, I'm one of the owners. My business partner owns Kobe Steakhouse. So it's definitely a team effort. Kobe Revolving Sushi is the first ever sushi on a conveyor belt here in Bloomington Normal. It's not a new concept in other city, but it is the first ever in Bloomington Normal.
When in the process of opening Kobe did y'all decide to do the conveyor belt? Was like that the initial, like, let's do a conveyor belt sushi bar, or was it like, let's do a sushi bar, and you're like, light bulb moment, it'd be so cool if we included the roundabout?
It's always that we wanted to do a conveyor sushi bar. There's a lot of already, not a lot of, but there are several sushi restaurants already in town. We all believes in creating an experience, not just food. In Bloomington Normal, as you can see, we have a lot of options. We are a small town, but we have a small town full of food options. We have variety, we have fast food, we have local. So it's a good thing. But in order for you to stand out, that we truly believe that bringing an experience in town is really the way to do it. So
no, I think that's a great angle. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to Amanda Jones in here, and somewhere a long time ago, I don't know where, it's this urban legend or myth of Bloomington. They say we got the most restaurants per capita.
It's true.
For people. And like it is, you can't close your eyes and throw a rock without hitting a restaurant around here. Mm-hmm. So no, I love that. I love that you're doing something to be different and make yourself stand out. And it's so much fun. Like I haven't been in there yet personally, but it's on our list. And part of it is it's because I'm a picky eater. I'm not really a sushi fan, but don't you have other things on your menu that aren't just sushi? What else do you have?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's probably the question that we gotten asked a lot. The beauty of it is that there are a lot of non-sushi items on the menu. We have ramen noodles, we have chicken finger, chicken wings, French fries, egg roll, cheese wonton, and my bao, handcrafted bao, are also served at the restaurant also served at the restaurant also from Bao Destination. So, yep.
I was going to get in and ask more about bao in a minute. Yeah. Back to Kobe. Mm-hmm. If I wanted, I think I saw a picture online. Is there something with like a little steak bite or what dishes do you have with beef? What beef dishes do you have?
A slice of filet mignon over some sushi rice. It actually is one of our very popular item on the conveyor belt, I guess.
It's almost noon, or is my watch off because of daylight savings? It's almost 1 o'clock and I'm hungry. Yep. And a bite of steak on some rice sounds amazing right now.
Yes, it is.
No, we're gonna have to get in there and try that. What desserts do you have?
We have popular ones are mochi ice cream, but we also have some cheesecake truffle. Oh my God, I mean, you talk about hungry. Like I can go in every now and then. I'll sneak in the kitchen and grab one and then put it in my mouth. They're super yummy. We're also always exploring. And that's the good thing about in the restaurant industry too, because we can be very flexible with our menu items. We can always test it out and see how a customer respond to it. And then if people like it and they are flying off the conveyor belt, then we'll continue to offer it. If they're not flying off the conveyor belt, then we just won't order it again next time, or make it or create them next time. So that's we're kind of testing out different menu all the time, and see what our customer respond to it.
Nice. And speaking of the conveyor belt, so when you go in and you sit down, there's just food cruising around, right? How do you gauge how much to make, or like how long do you leave it out for? What's the shelf life of sushi, or how does all that work?
You sounds like the health department right now.
I don't want to get you in any trouble. I'm just genuinely curious.
No trouble at all, because they approve our operation. So there's no secret at all. So I think that's the first thing. I think when we say we want to do a conveyor belt concept, that's probably the first question they ask. So each, if you go in, you see a different color of plate. So each color of plate changes every hour. So it's kind of help us to see, like say we start with a yellow plate for the first hour. If by 2 o'clock, a yellow plate is still on the belt, that's not a good sign. That plate should probably be pulled because it's been on the belt for so long and no one have pulled it. So color coding plate is a way for us to kind of help to make sure that food are not on the conveyor belt for longer than what it needs to be.
Oh, nice.
I forgot what's your other question already. But that's the way to control, sort of like a temperature control, all that stuff.
I think that answered it. I was just curious, that's new to me that you walk in, there's already food prepared. And then I was wondering, how do you gauge how much to prepare? Or is that just kind of like a hit or miss? You had to try trial and error?
It's kind of a trial and error. When we are at, if all the table and booth are full of customer, that's an indication for the kitchen to keep sending out stuff. So when a empty shelf or doom go back to the kitchen, that means that item have to be replaced. So that's another sort of gauge and indication for the kitchen. We have to replace this item because it's gone on the conveyor belt. But yeah, it's a more art than a science, I guess. Is to kind of make sure that we have enough food on a conveyor belt.
And then if I wanted to go in and get the steak and rice, is it typically just the sushi cruising around, or will there be that filet mignon available?
That's another good question. So reminder. So if you've been sitting there and you wanted that particular item and then keep going around and you don't see it, there's an option to order anything on the iPad. So if you want something very specific, you can just order it, and then the kitchen will send it out. It's a 2-layer conveyor belt. So the first layer is sushi and whatever food items going around the conveyor belt. And the second layer is if you order something from the kitchen, it will send it to you in a little robot kind of bus right to your table, which is another very unique experience. Some customer, even though they don't have to order anything, they will just order it just so that they can see the bus come to their table. So
yes, that's back to the experience of it, right?
Yep.
No, that's so much fun. And then so your partners in it, I don't know if you mentioned them, I think you did. They also own the Kobe Steakhouse?
Correct, yep. Mm-hmm.
And then did you know them prior to this, or if it's okay to ask, how did you get involved with them? Like, so if Vivian wants to go open a restaurant, or were you seeking out partners, or is that just someone you knew?
I meditate about it. And voila, the universe deliver. I actually known Eric a while ago. I don't know a lot of people are aware of it, but I actually wanted to open a food hall in Uptown Normal. That was back in 2017, 18 timeframe. Actually, we were going to be part of the Trail East project that Uptown was doing. We are going to have like a 5-storage building, and the first floor is going to be a food hall. So that's kind of, I was recruiting independents and local vendors to be part of the food hall, and that's how I met Eric, that owned Kobe Steakhouse. And then throughout the year, I mean, the food hall didn't happen, otherwise you will see it. But the developer decided not to pursue that opportunity, so we never pursued that project. But I gained the friends, and I know a lot of people in town. It just one phone call lead to something, and then more conversation, And then we start looking at property in town to maybe looking for a spot. And then we're like, well, let's do a conveyor sushi bao. Let's do it together. And there you have it.
Oh, that's awesome. I was curious
Yeah.
how that came about. And then you mentioned Bao Destination, or you mentioned your bao rolls. What do you call them?
Handcrafted steam bun. Yeah.
Handcrafted steam buns. Tell me more about that.
Yeah. So bao actually is a very common, I guess, item in Asian country, or actually where I grew up in Hong Kong. You often see it in a dim sum menu. And my mom actually used to make it, but it's more a complicated process. We love her for that. And we used to be involved as a family to make bao. It's like an all-day process. So during the pandemic, everyone was making sourdough bread. I can't seem to get a yeast started for whatever reason. Either I forget to feed it or I feed it too often. I just can't make it for a reason. And I was like, I gave up. I don't want to make any sourdough bread. So I'm like, well, let's try to learn how to make bao because it's kind of bring back a lot of memories. And I kind of want to get my kids involved. So I start learning how to make bao. And then I start making it and start perfecting it. And I was like, why not just make it to sell it? So there's Bao Destination. It's handcrafted steam bun that we have available right now.
You were making those, was it in a ghost kitchen and you were selling them like how was your distribution for the steam buns?
Yeah, so Bao's Destination was started as a ghost kitchen concept. I used to work at State Farm for 21 years. And I decided to step out and pursue my dream of entrepreneurship. And that was also sort of the food hall was kind of still a play in that time. So I figure if someone's going to trust me to open their food operation inside my food hall, I need to learn more about that business. And I never owned a restaurant. I never owned a food business. I said, I need to go and learn about the in and outs of it so that I can help these people and make sure that I set them up for success. So since I started learning how to make bao, I say, well, let's just go out and open Bao Destination. And I know Park Regency Hotel, after Brace left, it just have a commercial kitchen available. And if I don't have to spend any money building a kitchen, that's probably a quick way to open a business, right?
Keep that overhead low, right?
Keep that overhead low. So I was like, oh, that's a good idea. And the pandemic is still going on. Takeout and delivery is still a very popular option. So I was like, hey, Krishna, can I use your kitchen? Is there a way I can use your kitchen? And he was like, actually, it's perfect timing. They were just about to get the kitchen back up to where it needs to be so that he can lease it out, rent it out to people who want to utilize it. I said, perfect, let's make it happen. So I started at Park Regency Hotel as like a carry out and a delivery option only operation. And then as I continue to sort of operate Bao Destination, a lot of people were saying that I only open for lunchtime, but I really wanted to try your products. But I live so far away and I work at home. So by the time I get out of work, I can't really enjoy your product. I was like, okay, let me think about that. So I start testing this thing called the take-home pack. So the already cooked steam bun, frozen, seal it up. And I was like, well, maybe I can sell it to people so that they can heat it up and still enjoy the product at the comfort of their own home. So I started selling it at the farmer's market.
Nice.
And then from there on, I was like, every time I go, it was sold out within an hour. So
Wow.
I feel like I have something. So I kind of sort of continue to kind of move my business model from a ghost kitchen concept into focusing more on the take-home pack. And then from that point on, we moved from the farmer's market into wholesaling the product. So
What does wholesaling look like? I've seen that your steam buns are available on Hy-Vee. Is that the wholesaling side of the operation?
Yeah, it's the wholesaling part of it. So I was like, well, let's see if I can get into grocery store, right?
How do you go from being a mom and pop working in the farmer's market, to how do you establish a relationship with a local chain, and how do you get inside a Hy-Vee?
It's actually not as complicated as people probably would have think. I'm all about always going out and asking because I always believe that it doesn't cost you any money to ask someone something. And if they say no, then it's not meant to be. If they say yes, it just open another door. So all I did is walk into Hy-Vee and I asked to speak to the store manager or director. And he was like, yeah, sure, I'll take your product.
Wow.
Hy-Vee is really big on supporting local businesses, which is what I love about them. So I really still grateful and thankful that they give me an opportunity. They're like, yeah, give me some product. We'll give it a try to see if it sell or not.
Are you allowed to discuss those margins? What does that look like? Or is that's another conversation? Okay.
Yeah, that's another more than an art and a science. You kind of sort of have to figure it out. What you don't want to give it away, right? Because then you're not making any money, but you also want to give them opportunity to make money. So there's not really a magic sort of number. I just want to make sure whatever they sell it at the store is the same as how I would sell it at farmer's market. So the consumer are paying the same price.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
And then so they get the same experience too. That's what I've heard the argument that's why McDonald's is McDonald's, because you go East Coast to West Coast, you're going to get the exact same fries and hamburger and around the same kind of service.
Yeah.
So it's because they kind of commoditize it or they cookie cutter it, and it's what to expect at each location. So yeah, you don't want to get a wildly different experience with your steam buns in one location to the next. Is Hy-Vee the only store that you're in, or are you in any other stores?
I started at Hy-Vee, but then I also at the beginning also sell it to Green Top Grocery. And then I think later on I got into Fresh Time Market. So now my product is in Hy-Vee and Fresh Time. I also partner with a local Chinese restaurant in town, Chi Family Express. They also have my product. Sorry. But I don't sell it frozen. I sell it to them as a frozen item, but they will heat it up and sell it to the customer if they order off their menu. So it's a little bit different than the take-home pack. But either way, again, it's the same experience that my customer is going to be experienced as far as consuming the product.
No, for sure. And then as I introduced you, I see you're involved in several things. I'm sure your workload keeps you busy, but is Bao something that you would like to continue to grow and get in different markets and get in different stores? Or are you like, it's manageable right now, it's doing its own thing? Or is there any future growth for Bao in mind?
That's a great question. That's also another play as why I partner with Kobe Steakhouse, my business partner, to open Kobe Revolving Sushi, because Bao Destination actually never had a home. We used Park Regency Hotel for 2 years, which is longer than probably that I would expect it to be. But I'm grateful for that. So when Banchan opened, I left Park Regency Hotel. So I took a break actually for a little bit. So, and then I ran into Ken from Epiphany Farm. He was grateful enough to open Bakery and Pickle for me. So I actually did some bao making and Bakery and Pickle before Kobe Revolving Sushi opened. So the idea is to give Bao a permanent home, so to speak, so I don't have to keep using other people's kitchen to produce my products. And then the goal is to, once I have a home, then I have the resources, meaning people, to help me. Because today I'm sort of the only one that can make the product. But the goal is to, if I can have a permanent home for Bao, then I have the resources to help me. Then we can expand and increase productivity and expand distribution.
So wait a minute. Does that mean every Bao steam bun is handcrafted by you?
Yes, with these 2 hands.
Wow. No, that really is something. Wow, is that a super time-consuming process, or what does it look like to fulfill those orders? Or
it's time-consuming because it's the time it takes to make the product, because it's involved yeast. So every time you involve yeast, it takes time to ferment and then rest and then steam and then cool. That end-to-end process, it's long. But I've been doing it so long, so it really doesn't take me long to like fold a bao. But it's the end-to-end process that takes a little bit of time. Obviously, 4-6 hands is better than 2 hands. For sure. 10 hands is better than 2 hands. So the more the people, the more products that I can make within the same amount of time.
Oh, for sure.
Just multiply. Yeah.
Do you have loose numbers? Like how many are we talking? How many do you produce a week?
I don't go in every day these days, so there's only certain of time that I
For
make
sure.
my product. So I will say that when I was at Bakery and Pickle, I can probably, I have a staff that was helping me. Two of us, we can probably make about easy 200, 250. Like in, we start at 9. We usually wrap up by like 2 o'clock.
Okay. And then whenever you were serving them out of the hotel, were you just doing it as a ghost kitchen, operating somewhat independently, or like if the hotel was the hotel serving them too, or was it just you were creating them there?
At the time, I was really just using the kitchen to serve my product.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just basically paying rent to utilize the facility. Yeah.
And then what all varieties of steam buns do you create? I think online I just saw, is the vegetable one new, or are you just promoting it?
I always have vegetables. I'm just promoting it. The beauty of the product is you can do whatever you want.
I figured.
Yeah.
With that picture, I was actually looking. I was like, I think I see carrots, maybe celery. What all vegetables?
Cabbage, carrots, mushroom, and green onions.
Okay,
Yes.
nice. Nice. I'm going to have to try one of those.
Yes, they're really popular. So pork dumpling is actually my most popular item. Pork belly is also very popular. But in the past, I have done vegan chicken. I have done sweet kind like chocolate custard, ube custard. I have actually done a partnership with Pizza Paya where we have done like a pumpkin custard donut. I have done some pizza bao, so where it's stuffed with cheese, pepperoni, or spinach, or cheese.
Are the pizza ones available today?
Not today, but
The
I was
people
thinking
demand
about
pizza
doing.
bao.
Yes, pizza
Bring 'em
bao is
back.
actually super
Bring
yummy.
'em
I'll
back.
be so surprised, and it's actually really good if you deep fry it, like steam it and then deep fry it. It's divine. Yes, it's really good.
I told you I was hungry.
Yes, you're making me hungry.
Wow. I definitely want to try the vegetarian bao
Yeah.
and the pizza bao. And I want to come to Kobe and try that steak. That's going to be
Yeah.
very soon. Are you there often?
I am not there often.
I'm going to come in and be
Yeah,
like, I
I'm
know
not-
Vivian. I get the VIP treatment. Let's go. Where's my table? No. I'm just-
We'll see. I don't know, do I have that power?
Oh, totally kidding. So when I mentioned real estate agent earlier, prior to that off camera, you had said by referral only. What's going on with that? Like, so do you still engage in real estate, or what's your real estate
Yeah,
endeavors
I
looking
got
like?
into real estate. One, I like to keep myself busy. So at the
Sounds
time,
like it.
I left my corporate job at Bao Destination, but I only opened for lunchtime. And I'm always curious about sort of like the investment side of real estate. And I just want to really get to learn more about so that I can, and one day if I want to start doing investment, I can just open the house myself versus calling someone else and negotiate my own contract. So I'm like, well, let's just get myself a real estate license. So that's kind of where it started. So, and then when I started building all these businesses and Kobe Revolving Sushi was kind of in the horizon, I find myself not having the time to really service my customer. I hate to do things sort of half-ass, either do it or not do it at all. But I spend too much money and effort studying to get my license. I don't want to just let it fall apart.
Right.
So I decided to just hang my license for referral only. So this way, if people still want me to help them, I can refer them to all my good friends that are in the business. But when I'm ready to jump back in, I still have my license to jump back in later.
How long does a real estate license last for?
It's every 2 years you have to renew it.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah.
Do you have to, like, is it just a simple renewal process?
It's
or
just
is there a
another
test?
course you have to take a test. Sometimes a test, sometimes
wow.
it's a CE credit to kind of keep your license up to date.
As many
So,
realtors as I've spoken with, that's the first time I'd heard that. I just wasn't aware.
Yeah,
You
it
don't
needs
know
to
what
be
you don't
renewed.
know.
Yep.
And then I've gathered that you don't just jump in next Tuesday and start making money as a real estate agent. Like, it takes a process to develop
Yeah, for
clientele
sure.
and build
Yep.
relationships.
And it's expensive to be a realtor.
Okay, my nephew was interested in it, and actually we sat down and talked to Jen Johnson. Shout out Jen Johnson.
Yeah, shout out to Jen Johnson.
Jen's amazing.
She's
And
amazing.
no, she was so generous with her time. We sat
Yeah.
down and I was proud of my nephew. He had a whole list of questions and
That's
everything.
so awesome.
And I was like anything you're interested in, if I can help it, like I know a lot of people in a lot of
Yeah.
industries.
Yeah.
I will sit down. We could talk talk to them, see how this works, and then I'll
Yeah.
try to put you in the driver's
Yeah,
seat.
or shadow someone just
No,
to see
yeah.
if it's something that you want to do before you commit to it. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot involved in real estate in there.
Yep.
So did you say it's only referral? Do you do it then, or is it referral based that if you get any leads, you actually refer them to
I
other
refer
people?
to someone else. Yeah.
Okay.
But I still get paid.
You still get paid.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. All right, something else you got coming up that I'm excited about
Yeah.
because I'm playing a very small role in it is
Yeah.
the Young Entrepreneurs Market.
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah. So the idea came up when one day my daughter came to me and say, "Hey, I'm making some handmade jewelry and I want to sell them, but I don't know where to sell them." I say, "That's a good question. I don't know where either. You either do online or I don't know where physically you can sell the product." At the time I was doing farmers market, I say, "Why don't you just set it up next to me? You know, I already paid for the space. You can just set up a table and kind of sell your handmade jewelry." So that's what she did. And the first day she set up, she made some money. So as I see her sort of continue to do it, she started building confidence. She learns how to sort of kind of the value of business, right? She make money and then she reinvest it and buy more products. She get a sense of what popular. She made specific things for Christmas, Thanksgiving, try to get people to buy it. So I'm like, well, there isn't anything in town that allow a young kids who want to be an entrepreneur to sell their products or even to explore entrepreneurship. So I'm like, why not create a market where they can do it? So I call my friend, Amy and Kristen. They own a company called Collab. They do vendor show across the community and they're very successful. So I kind of pitched the idea to them to kind of see if they can help me sort of execute and implement the idea. So that's what Young Entrepreneur Market was born. This is the third year that we are doing it. The first year, we don't know what to expect. We're like, maybe no one will show up. Maybe 10 will show up. We actually end up having kids on waiting lists and we just don't have room to put them. So last year we were able to partner with Corporate Christie. They were very generous of letting us use their facility. And they have much more space and we're able to charge the young entrepreneur a less expensive price to set their table. And last year, actually, we have a full gym was packed and the cafeteria was packed. So this is our third year doing it, and the responses has been very, very positive. So
wow, that's incredible. So the first year was at the hotel,
Yep.
and then the second year was at Corpus Christi, and now this third year again at Corpus
Yep,
Christi.
correct.
Okay, I don't know how it got on my radar. I'm assuming through social media, but yeah,
Yeah.
the first year you did it, then we came out and attended
Yeah,
just as
that's
general
right, I
consumers.
remember. Yeah.
And so we checked it out and saw it, and yeah, the room was absolutely full.
Yep.
There was vendors and people everywhere. Like it looked like a legit trade
Yep.
show or vendor show, or I don't know.
But
the
they're
name
all
for it.
kids.
No,
They're
it was
just all
so
kids.
neat, and
Yeah.
there's such a neat variety too. Because anywhere from like you said, the jewelry to
Yeah.
the kids slinging Pokemon cards
Yep.
to handcrafted treats, or like it
Right.
was really impressive what those
Yeah,
little
I mean the kids are amazing. The creativity are just blown out of our mind. And last year we have a pitch competition, and we have I don't know how many video I forgot off the top of my head, but there's a lot of kids submit the video for the pitch competition. The creativity. Their video was better than my pitch video when I submitted to Hy-Vee for their Hy-Vee summit, business summit that they have. So they're just awesome. That's just blow my mind. So
I want to come back to this, that Hy-Vee Summit, though. I'm curious how big your business
Yeah.
works. Was that to pitch to get in multiple stores then, or what was that?
So each year Hy-Vee does a called Hy-Vee Business Summit. They invite small business owner to pitch their idea. And if you get selected, you get to go on stage and pitch it like a Shark Tank style.
Okay.
You got to pitch it to judges and you get rewarded for money. So there are different categories. So each category, they have one prize, like a small prize. And then they pick like a grand winner and they get a $30,000 check from Hy-Vee.
Oh, wow. No
Yeah.
strings attached. It's just
No
a contest
strings
and it's just
attached.
fun?
No.
And is that on a local level, national level, or what kind
They
of
actually
audience?
travel to different places. The one that I went to was in, oh God, it's been a while. I want to say it's in Moline, Illinois. I I want to say it's Moline, Illinois. But that was my first time. They also have a lot of store manager there. So there's an opportunity for you to visit with different store manager to pitch your product, to introduce yourself. I think through that summit, I was able to meet a lot of store manager. So at one time my product was in Peoria, Peru, Illinois. And there was a chance to even go to Champaign. But at the time, I just don't have the capacity to really expand to more distribution. And because I'm not local in Peoria, in Peru, I can see the product are not moving as fast as it is in Bloomington normal. So I sort of realized that, when I get to a sort of a better place, I guess, as you will, if I have more capacity, then I can focus more on the selling, the marketing, then maybe I'm ready to expand outside of Bloomington normal.
That's just super interesting, like, because not that everyone can, but it's not uncommon to be a vendor somewhere or to be a local mom and pop. So then when I saw that you're in Hy-Vee, I'm like, look, it's Vivian. You had like the sign up in the aisle, and like I'm like, well, that's really cool because you're actually in a national store. Yeah. And then you just walked in and the manager lets you do it.
Yes.
When you said that they're really generous or they're cool about doing letting local businesses in their store, and there's one I'm gonna butcher the name. I wish I had it on top of my head. It's salsa. I think it's Javier or something. The little salsa. It's my very favorite stuff because when you go and you open up your Chi-Chis or your I don't know, it's the big Nabisco, and it's on the shelf and it's full of preservatives, and they all, not that they're gross. They told you I was kind of a picky eater, but like I don't like store-bought jarred salsa. This comes in a little, it's plastic. I don't like plastic, but it comes in a little plastic square. It's refrigerated. It has a much shorter shelf life. When you open
it's fresh.
It's fresh. It tastes like restaurant salsa, and it's so good. I love it. I literally,
awesome.
I didn't have anything to eat the other day. I looked up like, oh my gosh, we got salsa and chips in the fridge. And I ate a half of the thing of salsa in one setting. It's so good.
Yeah.
So when you said Hy-Vee and their local vendors,
they do.
I was like,
So Donnie B has their popcorn in there. Hank's Smokehouse, who sell barbecue sauce, their product is in there. There's just a bunch of local product. You sort of maybe have to look, but Hy-Vee is one of the really big supporter of highlighting and allowing small mom and pop, as you can, if you say, to be in their store. So
that's awesome. And then when you say fresh time too, I got a bad water habit. I'm weird about drinking out of plastic. I jokingly say it's true though. If it doesn't have BPAs, it's got PETs and just microplastics are in everything.
So you're not drinking Bloomington water.
That's what. No. And then though, so I got my box of water. And then somebody's like, well, that's lined in plastic, right? I'm like, oh, crap. But it makes sense. Otherwise, it's paper. And then the same thing, I just found out, cans, pop cans, soda cans, water cans have a very thin lining, too, that also has BPAs in it. But it's literally
everywhere.
Pick your poison. And what are you going to do? But so I got a serious water problem. And I got liquid death over there in my Shine mug here. But I say that to say I'm familiar with Fresh Time. That's where I get fruit there sometimes and I get water there. Are you currently in Fresh Time?
I am actually delivering product next week. So Fresh Time is another great store to work with. They also highlight a lot of local products. The store manager, shout out to Eric. They are the one that reached out and wanted to highlight my product. So
nice.
Yep.
And this changed gears right back into the young entrepreneurs market. What was the growth like from year 1, 2, and 3? How many kids have you been able to help do that?
The first, I'm going to talk about number of booths because I don't have like the actual data in front of me. The first year, I think we have about 26 booths. The second year, we double. We have 52, which means we double or maybe triple the number of young entrepreneurs. Because one booth could be 2 or 3 young kids just combine their business and do it together. This year we are close, but probably not as close as we had last year. We have extended our sign up or registration for another week and hope to get more kids to want to come on board and can kind of try it out. A lot of people want to check it out before they committed to it, which is totally fine. But my vision really for the young entrepreneur market is to have a workshop or like a summer camp, which I talked to Brian a little bit. about teaching kids about how to nurture their idea entrepreneur spirit, and then use the market as a way to kind of implement what they have learned through the summer camp, kind of like a test run, kind of as you will. So wanted to be more a end-to-end process, I guess, as you will, to continue to encourage and nurture kids who want to pursue entrepreneurship.
No, I think the summer camp idea is brilliant, and I love it. I just got excited when you said that. If you, no, seriously, offline here, if you need any help with that, we can discuss that further. I think that's
totally.
so neat.
Totally.
That's really neat. One, just for the summer camp aspect of it, but no, like you can not just here's a space available if you want to do it. It's like, here we can walk you through it and give you some tips and insight, and you could literally build a little program that churns out these young business people. That's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's what got me excited. That's sort of my passion is. I always say that I want to be an entrepreneur because I want to be an entrepreneur, but also part of it is I want to be able to pay it forward. I want to take what I learned and then pass it on and to help other people who want to, because I already gone through the hard road, right? So I already take all the lesson and things that I have learned. So I want to be able to help other people so that they don't have to go through what I've been through. So that's sort of where my passion is. So.
And then with the young entrepreneurs, I was made aware of your clothing line, the Inspirio.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
So that's a lot of people say that, do you sleep? I said, I actually do sleep. Like I said, I want to keep myself busy. And I have a creative side of me sometime. I like to create things. So I was watching all this video about how people are creating online clothing store and then sell it through Etsy. And I'm like, oh, it's something fun and interesting to do. So it doesn't take a lot of time and effort. So let me just create something to see it didn't even get any traction. So that's where Inspirio Threads was born, just to get my creative outlet out. So I sell online clothing, sort of like a print-on-demand route, to just another way for me to explore a different way, I guess, to make money or be your own boss. So
everyone needs that creative outlet, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then if you had to does it not receive much attention while you're busy with all these other endeavors, or is it like, do you make time deliberately to focus on that so that it doesn't fizzle out, or is it just when time allows for it, it's kind of a side interest, or where does that stand? Where do you prioritize that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I need to do a better job of prioritizing things. That's always been sort of something I want to continue to work on, is to prioritize things. So I'm a busy mom of 2 kids, 12-year-old. They have a busy after school activity. So they are always my priority. So I think the clothing line is when I have time. And when sometime I sit around and have an idea come up, I'm like, okay, I'm going to put something out there to see where people find interest, or if they want to order it. If not, then I didn't lose any money, or maybe just some time.
I do my own little bit of clothing.
Right?
It's a very extremely limited time consuming thing, limited interest.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with TeePublic?
No.
There's these, I don't know if they're print on demand exactly, but there's these websites that you can go to, and there's anyone can upload art. And then they take a huge margin. It's like you get $2 for a $20 shirt.
Okay.
And then it's like, you're not going to get rich off of it. But you go to somebody's artist page and it'll be 50, 60. They'll just have design after design after design. And I dived into it a little bit. And I joked, the other day I joked, I was like, I make $3 a month off of it. I was like, I was watching something about multiple streams of revenue. Yeah. Every now and again, I post it on my social media story when I get a sell. Yeah. And I'm like, multiple streams of revenue. I got my $2 cut, but it adds up. If you think it'll cover the phone bill at the end of the year, at the end of the month, So I imagine it's kind of like that.
Yep, it's kind of like that. It's just a way for me to, like I said, get my creative outlet, get on Canva, and then make something up. And then
I got sidetracked, and we're bouncing around here. This is fun, but when you mentioned the sharing entrepreneurial with younger people, right? Mm-hmm. To inspire the next generation. It just made me think of I do like to do that. I know so many people that get trapped into a job they don't like. Yeah. And me and Brian were talking about that. Yeah. Young, inexperienced people, sometimes it's just they need money. So they take whatever job they're qualified for, which is entry level. And then that ends up being a career path that they take oftentimes, and they don't know any better, or they don't pursue any better, or even if they go to college and explore an interest, how many people actually work in the field they studied? And then those of us who are lucky enough that we do, then it's like, who follows the path they always thought they would, right? Like you don't know what you don't know. And then as you're learning it, sometimes you just follow the track that appears to be in front of you. And that's what I do like about entrepreneurship. And are you familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk? I need some money from Gary Vee because I keep mentioning that's my guy. Besides Gary Vee, actually, I'm really a big fan of. Do you know Alex Hormozy? Mm-hmm. You know Alex Hormozy? I'm gonna start sharing these influencers with you. I'm gonna put you up on game, Vivian.
Yes.
Well, I like Alex Hormozy because he talks more operational, and I'm learning so much consuming his content. Let you cough. He's brilliant, and he talks about business in one way. He frames stuff and talks about systems and structure, and he's brilliant. I'm also a fan of Gary Vaynerchuk, though, in that he's more of a marketing guy, just in your face. Here's me. Here's my personality.
Yeah.
He's built a big personal brand. But back to Gary Vee, the reason I bring this up is he's big on pursue your passion.
Yeah.
Again, back to too many people just find a job and are just getting by, paying their bills or whatever, and whenever you find something you enjoy doing, there's a way to monetize it. It might take 10 years to get there, but you can monetize something you actually enjoy. And it's like sometimes you got to bite your pride and you're not making that 6-figure salary working at a corporate job. Well, can you figure out a way to make 40 or 50 to get by? And then maybe you can scale it once you learn how business works. But then I go back to too, not everyone's cut out for this. It's hard. And there's so many days you want to quit and you question what you're doing. But when you actually can figure out how to make money, doing something you enjoy is very rewarding.
Yeah. I think oftentimes that you don't really have to quit your job. You can start small. I always tell people that there's nothing wrong with starting something when you feel like it's not perfect, right? It may not be a perfect product to tell the world, but if you never take that first step or even start, you will never start. So it's about taking the baby step. I mean, I have the same thing. I'm not a perfectionist, but sometimes I am. Like, I don't want to tell people something until it's perfect. Like, I'm recently doing a new project. It's like a cookbook connection. It's like a podcast, video cast, whatever you want to call it. But I'm contemplating about telling people about it because I don't have maybe all the guests lined up. I may not have all my stuff in the row or figuring out what I want to do, but I wasn't doing it to make money. I was doing it because I want to talk to people. I want to use food to connect people with friends, to learn more about them, to make a deeper connection. So what's holding me from doing it? I just need to find time on my calendar, block it off, and make it happen. So let's just do it.
I like that you're speaking it into existence. You're going to hold yourself accountable. You're like, I already put it out there now, so you have to. That was part of with me doing this. Like we spoke out before we came in here about like, I don't know. I want to keep it professional, right? Yeah. But I want it to be real. And I want it to be personal too. Yeah. So you got to find that balance. Yeah. And then you're not going to have all the answers. And you do just have to start. Because if you wait till you figured it all out, you'll never start because there's so many unknowns that you can't wait until you know it all to start. And that brings me, I wrote this quote down the other day. It says, by the time you have complete information to make the decision, the opportunity's gone. Yep. So it's like you're not going to know. You just got to jump in the fire and figure it out.
I mean, it's just like starting Bao Destination, right? When I say I want to do this, I don't know even where to make my product, right? I don't know how to source my product, how to price my product. Where do I find all these kitchen equipment? I don't know any of those things. But eventually I figure it out. And then when you start doing it and you start sending it to the universe, they're going to send you opportunity. Really, literally, I'm just driving and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, there's a kitchen in Park Regency Hotel. Oh, I can just text Krishna. Oh. So, it just, when you start doing things, I think things is going to start to come to you. And you wait till everything all line up, like you said, an opportunity may already pass. If I go in the route and start looking at a place to build my kitchen, I may never really even start it because the cost, the resources, and if I build it, it's not guaranteed it's going to be successful. So I'm spending like $100,000, $200,000. It's not even though people want to eat my bao. No, I don't know. Maybe they don't like it. Maybe they hate it. Then what? What am I going to do? So, yeah.
Sometimes you just got to start.
Sometimes you just got to start.
So did you start Bao then? Did you launch it while you were still with your previous employer?
No, that's what I was thinking I want to do. But my husband was like, you can't really do work and then do this because you can't do it half-ass. So we have some money saved aside, so just do it. And again, at that time, the food hall was still on the horizon. So the plan was to do Bao Destination, learn what I can,
Gotcha.
and then we can move into the food hall, knowing there's like the end game of the food hall opening, and that will become my full-time job. So it makes sense to leave the job because there is a plan in place.
Oh yeah.
And I don't regret it. It's probably a risk that we are taking financially. But we have done our savings, so we have some money set aside that allow us to pursue what we needed to pursue. So it's sort of all worked out.
Nice. And then with that being said, I think there's one thing that we didn't really dive into. I want to hear more about Beyond Social.
Yeah. So I said again and again, food is the way to connect people. I see how food is sort of the entry points of starting a conversation to learn more about people. Just two of us sitting here talking about bao, talking about different food. We already start to learn about each other, our background, without really talking about our background. So I have a good friend of mine who I used to work with at State Farm. She was my mentor, and we were just getting together one day and then talk about the love of cooking and sharing our knowledge. And I said, maybe we should open or start a business where we can teach people how to cook or make something. It was kind of post-pandemic. Everyone was so used to being isolated. We want to bring people back together. We're like looking around the community. We have a restaurant. We can go to see a movie. But there isn't a lot of place that create a place for people to do activities where they can get together or meet other people. So we're like, let's do a cooking class, but a participation cooking class where people are going to get their hands dirty and learn how to cook. And that's how Beyond Social was born. Was the vision is to create a place to start with cooking class, but then move into other activities that to bring people together so that they can learn together, they can connect, they can meet new people. That's really, it's what Beyond Social is all about.
No, that's awesome. With the launch of Kobe and your other several endeavors, have you been pulled away from Beyond Social, or have you been able to do any cooking classes recently?
So the beauty of Beyond Social is when we first started, we were like, oh, we're looking for location to build a facility. We're like, we need to build this beautiful facility, excuse me, with kitchens, with prep table, with stove, where everybody can come in. And then we're like, but what if no one comes? So we're like, let's not spend all the money before we know this idea is going to work. So we were utilizing existing location in the community. So we started doing classes actually at K Growth, just right across the street here. We did some classes of Illinois Art Station. They have a beautiful facility that we can do. And recently we've been doing a lot of classes in Green Top Grocery. They already have a demonstration kitchen. So to answer your question, long-winded way, Beyond Social, it doesn't have a lot of overhead. So it's really about coordinating schedules and classes and all that stuff. I have a great business partner, and we just recently hired a virtual assistant to help with some of the work. So to answer your question, no, it doesn't, just because I have a great support system. So, yeah.
What kind of goals do you have in the near and long future? Is it like in a perfect world, Kobe would get wildly successful and then you could just do the marketing from at home over Zoom calls, or do you have a 10-year plan? Not to say what's your 10-year plan, but I'm just genuinely curious. A lady who's as busy as yourself, that's stretched so thin, what are your future ambitions with all this going on?
It's funny that you said that. I was talking to my life coach the other day. I said, well, I need to sit down and kind of map out, my 10-year. I said, not 10-year because I'm old. I don't know that I want to work another 10 years. So it's probably like a shorter.
So retirement.
Well, yeah, probably like a 5-year plan of what I wanting to do. So, so like I said, my passion is really to help continue to pay it forward, to help other people who have a passion in being an entrepreneur. So, as far as the next on the horizon, I want to continue to build on the young entrepreneur market, whatever that's going to look like. I'm not done with opening other business, so I'm continuing to work on it to see what other ideas come into mind and see what other things that I can probably build and create in the community, what unique experience. So that is on the plan. Can't talk about it really, but that is somewhere I'm working on. So, I mean, ultimately, I would want to have all these businesses just like what we want, continue to generate money where I don't have to be in the day-to-day operation and just enjoy the fruit that I invested or the seeds that I invested.
Nice. So you want to be the puppet master.
Yeah.
I'm totally kidding. No. And then I'm gonna get you out of here in just a minute. But one more time, since you mentioned the young entrepreneurs market, I had another thought about that. Mm-hmm. Is that going to continue to be annually, or is there ever a way that you could do that more frequently, or would it be too much, or could it be like the monthly entrepreneurs market, and like would that ever be a possibility on top of the camp? And then it could be like, then you could talk about quarterly revenue, and like there's so many different ways you could frame that.
That is a great question. For sure, at this point, it's probably going to be an annual process. The frequency of it to change it, we don't know. It does take a lot of work to put one together. I would give all the credit to Amy and Kristen, especially Amy. She does probably a lot of work in getting it up and running, go from setting up the website, taking registration, advertising it, publishing on social media, or even the day before the day of the event. It's a lot of energy and resources to put one event together. So I think we have to put that into consideration as far as what would that frequency look like? How do we scale it? How do we continue to give these young entrepreneurs an opportunity at a more frequent basis, but doesn't take up a lot of energy and resources to do it? So it's a kind of sort of like again, it's not, it's more in an art than in science, right? To kind of figure it out.
So biannually, I heard biannually. No. Well, I am personally looking forward to the next Young Entrepreneurs Market. Shout it out. This will probably come out after the fact, but what's the date of that?
It's going to be April 12th.
Okay, yeah, this won't
from
be out
1
by
to
April.
4.
So
It's
I
not,
guess that's that dated this. So this is shot prior to April 12th.
We can look forward for next year.
Yeah, please do. Be on the lookout for that. It's so much fun. It's a neat opportunity for kids.
Yes,
and,
for sure.
I'm excited to see it this year and just to even play any role in it in the future. It's awesome.
Yeah, but you may hear more about it. I'm going to be on the upcoming TEDx. It's probably going to be after this video cast is going to be shared, but it's on April 5th. So hear more about that too.
You're
as
just
well.
Shaking and moving, huh?
Yes.
Well, I think the young entrepreneurs might be my favorite thing you're a part of, and then Kobe just sounds super neat. We're absolutely going to get in there.
Yes, you have to.
I'm gonna try that filet mignon over the rice.
Yes,
and then I might try a couple other things.
Yeah.
And,
You'll probably find
wow.
something that you like that you didn't even know that you like.
No,
So
that's how it is. That's why I was a picky eater for the longest time. And then it's like you can't only eat them same. You get tired of everything you eat, and then now I try. There's so many foods. Like I have a buffalo chicken salad I enjoy, and then there's cucumbers and there's all kinds of stuff in there that when I'm eating it, I'm like, oh, if 12-year-old me could see me now. So I definitely want to try some new
that's awesome.
things.
You're definitely making me hungry. So
Me too. Well, I think that's a good segue to get you out of here.
Yep.
We need to go get some lunch, and you got some appointments, right?
All right. Yeah.
Well, Vivian, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
This was a pleasure chopping it up with you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jumped out in this fresh gear. Next year is my best year. This year was my flex on. Like a shoe deal with a check on. Might be like a Nike with a